What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Full 90. We are back once again. This time it is La Liga Week 19 predictions. There are only 8 fixtures to go through for this game week, but nevertheless, we are going to get started in just a moment. If you have been enjoying the previous videos, if you didn't know, we did Serie A a couple of days ago, Bundesliga yesterday, and now La Liga today. It was actually quite handy that there was a little bit of a break in the Premier League to sort of get ourselves bedded in for these new European leagues, as promised, as a thank you for 30,000 subscribers. So if you do enjoy these videos, please take a few seconds to just drop a like and subscribe down below, as it really does help the channel. The tips will be above my head for this video and the games will be over here. Did I point the right way there? I probably didn't. The games will be over there. Yeah. So I can't do it in the regular Premier League and Champions League video format. I'm using Super Brew for La Liga, Serie A and Bundesliga to get the score and tips out for you guys without spending an extra God knows how many hours editing, rendering, recording, and doing all that stuff so that I can actually get it out for you. So flashing up on the screen are all of the people that are supporting the channel over on Patreon and getting access to exclusive members, tips, and accumulators, and essentially allowing me to make particularly these series on these extra European leagues. It wouldn't be possible without the help for the support or from the support on Patreon. So if you want to shout out in every single video, then be sure to join the Patreon down below and you can get access to our exclusive tips and accumulators as well. But nevertheless, we kick it off. I wouldn't call it a blockbuster, but we start with Rayo Vallecano up against Celta Vigo, and Vallecano unbeaten in their last 4 games, drawing 3 of them. I think we can see a similar trend here. I think Celta Vigo are a better team than Rayo Vallecano. The league could suggest otherwise. There's 2 points to separate them. I think it is going to be a stalemate here. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, but I love the odds of both teams to score at 1.9. I think that's going to be an interesting game to kick us off. I really think a score draw is on the cards. After this, it's Alaves up against Girona. Girona, nothing like their season last year, of course, but Alaves are not as good as them. Even with injuries for Girona, I just think that they can shade a win. Alaves haven't won in their last 6. Girona have won 3 of their last 6, and I just think they're going to shade it here. Away from home, I'm going to say 1-0, and the tip is going to be Girona draw no bet at 1.8. You could look at odds of 2.6 for them to win, but draw no bet, it just gives you that little bit of security. I don't think Alaves win this game. They've only won 4 all season, and I'm not so sure that obviously Girona lose it. So I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to Girona. Now after this, it's Valladolid up against Real Betis. Betis, another team struggling this season, not putting out numbers like they should. And Valladolid, I don't think they're particularly good, and they've only won 3 all season. I think Betis can get a win here. It'll be hard fought, but I do like the odds. I understand why they're this high when the gulf between Valladolid and Betis is quite high, I think. I think Betis are a decent team. They just can't seem to get wins. So I'm going to go for it. Real Betis to win 1-0. And the tip is going to be Real Betis to win. I've got odds of 1.83. When I do outright winners, the odds will be different that I put on the screen. These are Hollywood Bets odds. As you can see here, they partner with Super Brew, but I don't go by their odds. So there will be a slight discrepancy between the numbers you see on screen and the numbers you see above my head. I think Betis win 1.83. Thank you very much. After this, it is Espanyol up against Leganes. This is a really difficult one to predict. Really difficult one to predict. Espanyol currently in the relegation zone, but with a win here would be joint on points with Leganes. I think Espanyol, should be slight favourites. The odds aren't showing here for some reason, but I just can't see it, and I can't predict a winner either. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, but I could see this being 0-0. I could see it being 1-0 to Espanyol. So I'm going to tip Espanyol double chance and under 2.5 goals at 1.72. I think Espanyol double chance is like 1.2, but the under is about 1.5. So combine them both, we get 1.72. I like the odds. So for that not to come in, either Leganes win, which I don't think is going to happen, or there's over 2.5 goals, which I also don't think is going to happen. So marry them together, 1.72, decent little bet there. After this, it is Sevilla up against Valencia. Now, the odds here, I really, really like. I think Sevilla win. Valencia just lost out to Real Madrid in crazy fashion. If you didn't watch that game, Valencia get the lead. They're playing well. They get Real Madrid down to 10 men after Vinicius sort of kind of hits the keeper in the face, kind of, more like the neck, just sort of pushes him. The keeper makes a meal of it. He gets sent off. And then Real Madrid scored 2 goals with 10 men. And it's one of those things. But I think Sevilla at home are going to win this one, but the odds are crazy. The tip is going to be both teams to score, and it's not the favourable outcome. Odds of 2.1. I think this could be a blockbuster. I'm going Sevilla 3, Valencia 2. That is the highest scoring game I have predicted in Serie A, La Liga and Bundesliga this week. And I just got a feeling there's going to be goals. I'm going to say Sevilla 3, Valencia 2. Now, speaking of goals, we move on to Las Palmas against Getafe, where there will be none. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I don't think there's going to be many goals here. I'm going to actually go for double donuts. 0-0 between the two teams. I mean, Las Palmas, a great recent run of form, sees them basically boost themselves ahead of Getafe. Their recent run of form is, you know, literally the difference between the two teams. But I'm just going to say that this ends 0-0. The tip is going to be under 2.5 goals at 1.5. You could do both teams to score no. That'll probably be more like 1.6, 1.7. But this could also end 1-1. I mean, don't get me wrong. There could be a freak game. It could be a 2-1. You never know. But this just has 0-0 in my gut. So I'm going to say it 0-0 Las Palmas Getafe. After this, Atletico Madrid up against Osasuna. This will not be a 0-0. Obviously, Osasuna, the one team, or the team that first beat Barcelona, gave them their first loss of the season, and then arguably started the Barcelona downfall. As you can see by the league table just next to me, Barcelona have now lost 5 games this season, and Osasuna kind of kicked that off, but they are winless in their last 6. Atletico Madrid have won their last 7. I think they're going to win this one quite convincingly. I'm going to say 3-1. I'll give Osasuna a goal, give them their credit. 10th in the Premier League, along with Real Betis and Girona on 25 points, and Sociedad as well. That's good company to keep for a team like Osasuna. I think they can get a goal, but Atletico Madrid 3-1, and I think they will they'll win with a lot of goals. So my tip is going to be Atletico Madrid and over 2.5 goals at 2.05. If I ever tip a team to win and over 2.5 goals, it's because I think there's a heavy favourite and I'm keeping the 3-0 on side. Because if I was super confident in the opposing team to score, I would press the button on the team to win and both teams to score, like I did with Bayern Munich and both teams to score this week. But just in case Osasuna don't and Atletico Madrid win 3-0, 4-0, 5-0 even, I've gone for Atletico Madrid and over 2.5 goals at 2.05. I mean, if you look at the recent results, they beat Barcelona and over 2.5 goals. That was insane, by the way. The scoreline flattered them, to say the least. Barcelona kind of battered them, to be honest. Getafe 1-0. There are never goals in Getafe games, as you can see up here. Before this, Sevilla 4-3. Valladolid 5-0. Alaves 2-1. Mallorca, again, very low-scoring team, low-scoring games, and similar Las Palmas unders there too. But I think Atletico Madrid at the Wanda Metropolitano can win this game in a high-scoring fashion. The final game here, Real Sociedad up against Villarreal. I love Villarreal games to bet on. Real Sociedad, usually they're quite reliable. When they should win, they do win. But Villarreal are a tricky team. I am going to shade it to Real Sociedad, however, but the tip is going to be both teams to score at 1.8. I think Villarreal always look like they can score a goal. They're currently up there in 5th, Sociedad in 7th. I think they're a good team. I'll give Sociedad the win, but the tip is going to be both teams to score at 1.8. So over there is the summary of this game week in La Liga. Fairly low scoring up at the top, but I think Sevilla-Valencia could serve up a bit of a classic. I think Atletico Madrid will win quite convincingly, and I think if there's a game you don't want to watch, it'll be Las Palmas against Getafe. But that is going to do it for La Liga predictions this week. If you did enjoy it, please do drop a like, subscribe down below so you don't miss any future videos, and I'll see you in the next one very soon.